Hello and welcome to another episode of Next Week in Gaming. Next week is September week 5, and as usual we'll be covering game releases, early access releases, bundles, deals, interviews and reviews and all that kind of stuff. So first up we have a pretty sweet deal. Elite Dangerous was one of those games that I was looking at getting, but it was quite expensive and I heard mostly positive opinions but a little bit of hookiness about the end game. But finally Elite Dangerous is now 40% off Steam until Monday the 28th of September. So if you were on the fence and sort of deciding, or you were playing Star Citizen and didn't want to buy Elite because it was too expensive, now is the time to get it. So it's sitting at around £18 or $22-ish, something like that. So now is a very good time to quickly jump into Elite, especially as they are, dumping in a couple of extra updates and they have a new DLC coming soon. So definitely one worth looking at. So the first release is a early access release, and it's coming out on Monday the 28th of September. It's called Theia The Awakening, and this one's by Muha Games, and it's a mixture between sort of Heroes of Might and Magic, and if you remember the old Magic the Gathering game on PC, so you'd roam around the world and then battle people with cards as a trading card game like it was. But this one's a little bit of a mixture, so you'll be going around a procedurally generated world. The tile set are hexes, so you'll be roaming around like the newest turn-based strategy games. It's a turn-based strategy at the core with the trading card game as part of the way that you resolve challenges, so you'll still be building up things, and it's also a roguelike, which is, there's just so many genres going on here. So you'll be going through a procedurally generated world. You won't be building buildings as such, but you'll be going across and defeating various monsters, but the challenges involved are resolved using more textually based card battles. So it'd be nice to see a game very similar to the old Magic the Gathering game, so we're just hoping this one turns out as good as we hope. Next up is a rather peculiarly exciting release that I just caught my eye on yesterday, and this is called Epsilon. This is by Sorellen, and this is coming into Steam's Early Access sometime this fall, but if Steam's upcoming list is to be assumed, then it's going to be very soon in fall. Now this game is rather exciting because if you remember the old Rainbow Six games like Athena Sword and Raven Shield, where you would plan the missions beforehand and then you'd load out all your guys and then you'd play through and then switch between all of them mid-mission. This game is looking to be very similar to that. So it's got the graphic style of games like Consortium or Brink, or similar, very vectorized text, that sort of flat panels and everything like that. But obviously it's got all of the rather interesting core elements of a typical Rainbow Six game. Now obviously most of the modern Rainbow Six games have been a bit average, and they've kind of lost that strategy behind it, but this is one of those hybrid games that's going to be an FPS, maybe third person action, plus the strategy behind it as well, and it will have surveillance so you can plan mid-mission. So all in all, this game has the potential to be amazing because it's just going to bring back all those things everyone loved about Rainbow Six, but it's in early access and it's not quite finished yet. This is going to probably be in early access for about a year, I think is what the developers said, so we have a year to find out whether it's going to fulfill our dreams. So our next release is Visual Concepts NBA 2K16. This is coming out on Tuesday the 29th of September, and to be blatantly honest, I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about because I've never ever played a basketball game. To be perfectly honest, never even seen a basketball game. I assume NBA is going to follow the same sort of thematic upgrades as FIFA does. So every couple of years or so they tend to upgrade the engines of these things and add a few bits of physics. And this is correct. This time around the engine is being upgraded, so you now can see extra shiny HD sweat on the players. Physics collision has been adjusted, so if gigantic tall 7-foot players collide with each other, you'll get some shiny effects and some decent AI with the way they deal with that. Obviously there's going to be a bunch of additional modes. You can make your own 5v5 teams, fully customize them out. All in all, it's just going to be your average NBA game, so if you enjoyed the previous ones and you just want something that's a little bit shinier, then you may as well jump on this one. There are some pre-order bonuses, but it's a basketball game, I mean. Also releasing on Tuesday the 29th of September is a game by Limbic Games, and that's Heroes of Might and Magic 7. This game. Now, if you've played up until about 4, you'll probably have had a relatively positive outlook on what Heroes of Might and Magic was like. Me and my friends used to play Might and Magic for literally days online. And then 5.6 happened, and literally they just took a shit on the whole thing. You have to muck around with Uplay, which just shouldn't exist as it stands. And of course the online was horribly broken, and the game would just bug out and you'd get crashed midway through an online game and it would ruin all your progress. And basically Ubisoft just took a really good franchise and then took a dump on it. Obviously this game is going to be a shiny new game, except Ubisoft or Limbic Entertainment simply couldn't be asked to write a write-up for this on Steam, and so there are no new mechanics, no new anything at all involved in this game. The write-up is extremely simple. Same concept, same gameplay, same old heroes, same old passive tree. That's fine, it's all good, but they've literally added nothing. They've just changed. They probably made a new tile set for this new world that you're playing in. But if it's still part of Uplay, if it still crashes online constantly and they haven't resolved the issues that they have with their engine, then I don't care, pretty much, and I doubt anyone else does either. So unless this game is exactly the same as Heroes of Might and Magic 5, but doesn't crash, no one will buy it and no one will care. But one can only hope. I've probably said it before, and that was probably in the last episode, in fact, when I mentioned that Soma was releasing, but yes, we'll be releasing a review of Soma next week on Thursday the 1st of October. I've already started. In case you didn't realise, I've started doing a daily episode, just a 30-minute daily episode of what it's like as a virgin to frictional games, horror games, and after the first episode I basically just stopped precisely after 30 minutes when I saw the first creature. So yeah, we'll be running a review of that game, giving our thoughts, and I was genuinely interested in the concept of Soma because, you know, machines with consciousness and all those crazy videos that they released before the game came out were actually pretty good and very interesting, except I can't deal with horror. And if you watch the first episode of that series, you'll probably realise how quickly I can't deal with horror, as you see me frantically turning on every light and opening all the curtains. So yeah, check us out next week on Thursday for our review of Soma. That's it from us at Next Power Up. Join us next Thursday for our weekly review and next Saturday for our next Week in Gaming episode. As usual, leave your comments in the section below for what you guys have been playing. Join us next week. Thanks for watching.